Hi everyone, just a quick video on how to replace the throttle housing on an Eelo electric bike. We have a customer that cracked an LCD unit away from the throttle just accidentally. We have the part in stock, don't need many tools. Over here I've just got a precision screwdriver set. And you don't need anything as elaborate as that. Any small precision screwdrivers just for fixing a watch or anything like that will be fine. It's just important to say that before you try and turn any of the screws, they're only held into plastic, so try your best to get the best fitting screwdriver tip before you tear into any plastic. So 2 seconds now, I'll turn the camera around. Okay, so step one, just uncoil. This is wrapped onto all of the e-bikes just to tidy up the cables. That's all it's for. So just unwrap that down just a little bit. Coming in from your LCD, there is one wire, and eventually you will come across some shrink wrap, and the new unit will plug in. Just get a close up there. So that is how the new unit actually will be plugging in here. So you gotta cut the shrink wrap and take everything off the handlebar basically to replace it. I'll show you how this thing is assembled with the LCD unit now in a minute. Real quick tip just on getting your handlebar grip off, rather than struggling and trying to just rip it off, just use your brake lever. Just put one finger in here, and then all you're going to do is work that grip off with the brake lever. Nice and simple. So eventually, the grip takes 2 seconds to take off. The throttle itself is held on underneath here with a 3mm Allen key, I think. So just in there, 3mm Allen key, open that nut, and as you see then, the throttle's free to come off. Take these off the bar together just to avoid stretching any cables or ripping them out, so that the cables can be looked after. So that's how we get everything off the handlebar. Okay, so a couple of simple things to note for when you're finished. You want the buttons and the actual thumb of the throttle to be on the same side. They're on the right hand side of the handlebar. The LCD wire is on the left hand side of the unit as well. So really simply, I took a little bit of time to make sure that the tip of the screwdriver actually matches the screw to disassemble. Sorry, in here. So right there, if I can get this to show up on camera, yeah, over here, Phillips head screwdriver. There's two big ones, and there is two smaller ones located just inside here. 1, 2. So basically, you don't need to touch the 4 on the outside of the thumb throttle. That's just holding on a plastic ring to the main throttle body. So go ahead and remove these 4 screws. I'll start with these 2 actually, because they're just the proper fit. So that's 1. Out she goes. And that's 2. They come out by a magnet. Now you might need, I absolutely do need to change my screwdriver tip to this one here. So just go ahead and remove those 2 screws. And that's all that holds the throttle together. I'll take it apart now. Okay, so all 4 screws are out. Literally sorry, I'm just struggling to see the light here. I want to make sure this is clear. So just very subtly there, you can see where this is going to open right in the middle. You'll see the spring just peeking out very shortly as well. That's it in there, just that piece of silver. So that's the spring. before I rip this open, there's one spring. The spring has 2 arms, and when you open it, it'll feel like you broke something because the spring will release its tension, but it's very simple to put back in, and don't be afraid of it. So I'm going to work the thumb side. I'm going to work the thumb side away from the unit, and there you hear the spring letting go. And when you hear that noise, you think you broke something, but you didn't. That's perfectly normal. So I'm going to get rid of the LCD. Just put that aside. So very briefly, that's the spring. 2 arms, 1, 2. And then it has a very clear location inside the component. So first of all, locate this part of the component, and then right underneath it is where the spring will locate in here. And then on the thumb screw side, what you're looking for is those 2 holes. That's where the other side of the spring will go into, 1 or 2. And we're going to go and use the one that is next to the magnetic strip. So the hole will be right next to this one. Okay, so the easiest way to rebuild this is to get the part that doesn't have the thumb throttle, the opposite side, and just go ahead and put that on the LCD. Now it doesn't really locate into anything, it's going to be very loose, but what you want to do is find out where it sits properly, so it's not rattling around or anything like that, and you just want to tape it onto the LCD. I've tried this a few different ways, and this has been the easiest for me anyway. Some other people mightn't bother with this, but I definitely do. And what this is doing is basically freeing up one hand to do the rest of the job. I'll just break this. So I don't have to hold 5 different things at once. So there we go, tape it on. Just drop your spring on. I've already pointed out where it goes. From in here, next to your LCD, it's going to be just in there. So just put your spring in. What you want to do is just use your screwdriver just to make sure it's all the way home. So get it right the way in there. It normally wouldn't fall off. That's when you know it's in there pretty good, and that'll help you actually with the build as well. So like I said, really quickly, that there is a magnetic strip, which is how the throttle works. I'm actually talking about this piece of metal inside here, and that's the hole that I'm going to use. So just to show the camera, sorry, I have to check with the light there, that one there. So that hole is the one that is closest to the magnetic strip, and that's the one I want to locate into because it is going to put the best tension on the spring. So there's the arm. Really nothing to do, just locate it. There's nothing to it, I suppose I should say. There's nothing to it, just locate the 2 parts together. It'd be nice if I had a helmet cam, you could see from my angle. So what I've done is just loosely located the spring arm, very, very hard to see. Located the spring arm into that hole. So what is normal is that the unit, you would normally have to turn it 90 degrees to get it to click into place. If this is a bad camera angle, I apologize, but it's the best I can do at the moment. So there we have it. It's just about there. I'm taking note as well that as I'm putting this in, the spring should be coiling to a closed position. And so I rotated that. Just do that again slowly. I'll look at the camera this time while I do it. So that's it there, pretty much located. I'm going to actually turn this 90 degrees and then just slide it into the back of the LCD like that. And I'll know it's correct. Just giving it a press, you hear the click. Obviously it's good and proper. So if I'm looking at the LCD, I want the throttle to spring back towards the rider. And that's how I know that that is correct, basically. So so there's no second guessing that you've done it right. And absolutely, I put this together once the wrong way, that the spring was all the way down and it was trying to spring, or sorry, the other way, it was all the way up and it was springing back to the bottom, which is backwards. So it is possible to do it backwards, but all you have to do is retrace your steps, flip the spring, and off you go. So the last thing to do now is just pop in the 4 screws in the opposite order that you took them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just going to pop those 4 screws back in, and then I'm ready to go and reassemble onto the bike and then plug in my electrical connector. So I won't put that in the video, that's pretty self-explanatory, but you'll know you're pretty good. Don't even need screws. You can actually build that and it'll hold its shape. It won't fall apart. Obviously you can take off the tape later on. That'll help you obviously just when you're putting the screws together and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much how you rebuild a throttle. So it's nice and simple. Just decided to throw it into the video anyway. Yeah, just turning in the screws, and the reason I'm gonna put it in the video, I was trying to save as much time as possible, but I just want to make one last comment, and that is that do not over tighten steel screws into plastic. It's very hard to feel when they are pretty much tight, and it's so easy because a quarter turn could just completely destroy the thread, and then you're lost. You won't get another screw into it, or you'd have to up the size of the screw maybe to bite it. So nothing really exciting. Just want to say that use the correct screwdriver tip for the screws, and don't over tighten these going back in. When they want to stop turning the screwdriver, and then hopefully you would avoid breaking it. And then the last thing I just wanted to add really quickly was that on the split line here, it should be nice closed, shouldn't open. You should be able to pull it. You should be able to try and lift things away and pull them, test the action, and then you know that it's assembled correctly basically. So that's it. Just don't over tighten the screws, and give it a double check that that's a tight seal and that it works after you put the screws in. You don't want any sticky throttle or anything like that. Okay, so that's the end of the video. You know, here at Eelo Bikes, we want to show people that we actually do care about our customers. We want to make sure that we actually do stock spare parts, and we can get them to people efficiently. This video is made for any of our customers that are overseas, that might not have access to, you know, we're based in the UK, so we want to be able to just post a part, show a customer a link to a video like this, and then they can efficiently either bring this video and the part to the bike shop, or do it themselves. So hopefully it's pretty clear on how to do the job. And likewise, you know, subscribe to the maintenance channel. It is an electric bike channel as well, so you know, this tip might work on somebody else's bike as well, or somebody else could be, you know, the advice could be spread across, you know, other bike brands, whatever. But either way, you know, we're supporting Eelo here. But either way, yeah, click like, subscribe, and if there's any questions, just leave them in the comments. We'll try and you know, answer those, or likewise, if there's something that you're having an issue with, either email us, leave it in the comments, whatever it takes, but we'll try and get that answer back to you. So thanks very much for watching, and bye bye.